Hello friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. In today's video, I'm going to be playing with and showing you the new collection from Lethal Cosmetics. They came out with a bunch of new brushes and 2 new palettes, and I am so incredibly excited. I'm doing close-ups of everything, swatches of the palettes. I'll be doing 2 looks for you today, and I'm just super excited to dive in. I don't want to ramble too much in this intro. We're just gonna hop right to it. Everything launched on Black Friday, I believe, so it should all still be available, hopefully, or if anything's sold out, it should hopefully be coming back soon. But yeah, I'm just excited to dive in. I will give my accessory details before look number 2 because I totally forgot to in look number 1. But let's just go ahead, hop on in, chat about the products themselves, and get into the looks. First, we have a 15-piece brush set. I'm loving these brushes so far. They are vegan brushes, which is all I use. I don't use animal hair brushes personally. And we have a mixture of face brushes and a bunch of eyeshadow brushes, and I am so excited about them. I've been using them the last 2 days, obviously, as I've been creating these looks ever since I got them in the mail. And I'm just really excited to keep playing with them. I think I'm gonna reach for them a lot. They are so just soft and luxurious. I like the way the handles feel in my hands. I don't really know how to explain it, but I like how they taper at the bottom and it's not just a straight line. It just feels more comfy. It just feels nice and sleek. And I'm really excited about them. We're gonna talk about all of them individually right now, just so you know exactly what's in here and what I would personally use it for. The 100 is a powder brush. I would personally use this just to set like the perimeter of my face. If I just wanted to cover a lot of area really fast, that is what I would go for with this, and it is called the powder brush. All of these have like a specific use for them written on them. So maybe if you're new to brushes, this could be helpful because it tells you what you probably should use it for, and I do agree with pretty much all of these. The 105 is a bronzer brush, and I probably would use this for bronzer. I think this would be nice just to kind of pop in the bronzer areas of the face. Lately, I've been using the new Kaleidos contour trio and the brush that goes along with that, so I haven't used this one yet, but I do think I will use this for bronzer when the time comes. 110, this is the only one I don't agree with. This is called the contour brush. I use an angled brush like this for blush. It's my go-to blush brush. That's why it's covered in pink right now. I love this kind of a brush for blush. I've been using an angled brush like this for years, and this is just perfect. I love how soft it is. Now the 115 is called the blush brush. For me, I use a brush like this for setting my under eyes because it just tucks under there really nicely. That's why it's kind of my skin tone color. It's because I've been using it for that the last couple days, and I really like it. I like the taper on it. It's very soft. It disperses the product well. So yeah, that's what I use it for. 120, this is the foundation brush, and while I could use this for foundation, I've personally not been wearing foundation lately. I've just been using concealer, and I have been using this to blend out my concealer. You can kind of see the color on it a little bit. It does fit in like my little nooks and crannies really well. Personally, I feel like this would maybe be a bit small for foundation in my opinion. I prefer something like this if I'm gonna use a brush. It's just a little bit bigger, or I use a sponge. But this totally could work as a foundation brush. I just will probably use this more as concealer. And the final face brush is the 125 Highlight Fan Brush. I've never, ever been a fan brush person. I'm not really into them. But this one is shaped differently. I've never had one quite like this. It's a fan brush, but it's kind of dense and a little bit smaller. And I actually have been enjoying using it lately for hitting up my highlighty points of my face. So I think I'm actually gonna stick with this one for a while. I'm a fan, pun intended. And we have 9 eyeshadow brushes, and I kid you not, I'm gonna be using these all the time. First, we have the 200, the diffusing brush. I use this for buffing out in the crease, using like my lightest shade, just getting a really nice soft diffusion. The 205 angled shading brush. I use a brush like this in my outer corner a lot because it has that angle built in, so you can really tuck it and create that angled shape really easily without having to like freehand it with a smaller brush. I love using this for that, and this was also really nice to use. I find it to be fairly fluffy, so I was able to kind of blend a little bit as well. I really like this one. 210 blending brush. I wouldn't really call this like just a blending brush specifically because it's a little fat for that, but whenever I use kind of a tapered blending brush I'll use this if I'm putting like kind of some product on the lid but also want to buff it a little bit. I'll kind of use it for that because I can disperse the product really well but also blend the edges a little bit. I wouldn't use this to blend out product the way I would use like this big fluffy diffusing one for, but it does help me blend my stuff out. It's definitely a type of brush I reach for frequently. The 215 is a shading brush. This one is kind of like a small fluffy packing brush. This is going to be really good for detail work. I usually use something like this if I'm doing like detailed stuff in the outer corner with the shimmer. Like maybe I've laid a lot of shimmers on the front part of my lid and then I'm going really deep in the outer corner with some other shimmers. That's what I would use this for typically. The 220 pencil brush, I use this for typically smudging either on the lower lash line or getting really deep in that outer corner. And I like this one. I like how it's long but thin. The 225 packing brush, I use a brush like this constantly. It's small and it's flat, perfect for creating like cut creasy type stuff. I use a brush like this all the time. 230 is a detail brush. This is my go-to kind of a brush for the inner corner. It just fits perfectly right there, adds the product that I need, good to go. These last two I haven't technically used yet, but I will be using these because they are brushes that I need. 235 is an angled brush. This is my go-to brush if I want to, maybe I'm drawing a winged liner and then I want to layer shadow on top of said winged liner. That is what I would use this for because it's so incredibly skinny. Like this is probably my skinniest angled brush or one of my skinniest angled brushes, and you can get so precise with it. That is definitely what I'll use that for. And last but not least, the 240 pointed liner brush. This will be good if I'm using maybe like a gel liner and want to create a wing that way. Maybe I want to do something kind of graphic-y and detailed. It is a little bit thicker than what I would typically reach for a like graphic liner type brush. I usually want something even more puny, but this does still serve a purpose. I can still like kind of add little accents and details, draw some wings, stuff like that. Definitely not the kind of brush I use every day, but it does serve a purpose in my life. I have a few brushes like this that I do reach for from time to time. So yeah, those are the brushes. Let's talk about the palettes now. I'm sure that's what you guys are most excited for. This is the Metamorphosis palette. I love the packaging. I love the reflective moth on it. It is so, so gorgeous. This is what the insides look like. I did have a couple shades come a little bit like smushy, so I had to like push them back into place. This peachy shimmer and this one down here were a little bit like broken, so I just shoved them back into their spot and they work just fine, but just be aware that I did have a couple broken shades, but they weren't like completely shattered and destroyed, thank goodness. This is a warm toned grungy dream in my opinion. It is so pretty. We have so many special shadows in here. I love that we have a mixture of like those really pretty mattes. We have a good gradient from bright to deep, and then we have really pretty shimmers. Some of them are so incredibly shifty and sparkly and magical. I really like this one. I don't reach for like warm tone palettes all the time. It's just not my go-to. I do prefer like cool tones and jewel tones and stuff like that, but I do think this is a really, really pretty warm tone palette and definitely my vibe if I am gonna reach for warm tones. And I love, love, love that the orange is super bright because so often the oranges are so just muted and lean neutrally in warm tone palettes, and I don't want like a neutral orange. I want a bright orange, so this one makes me really happy. And the other palette is the Evergreen palette. This one is for sure my favorite. It is so, so gorgeous. I did have a couple broken shades in here as well. This one and this one were just a little bit cracky, not as cracky as the other palette, but I did have to smush them a little bit when I got it. But I love this color story. I literally gasped when they showed the reveal photos, and then they slid in my DMs and asked if they could send them to me, and I was so elated. Thank you so much, Lethal. I love these colors. The bright purple, green, and yellow. I love the blue shimmers that are in here. Again, we have some really special shifty shimmers in here. And I just love that this blue and yellow are next to each other. I love that particular combo of bright blue and yellow. I think it's so aesthetically pleasing, and I just love that they put them next to each other in the palette. I think it's so good. I'm so excited about this one. I'm really excited about both of these. Like I mentioned, I'm doing 2 looks in this video, 1 look with each palette, and I will be doing individual Instagram videos / TikToks with both of those as well, so you can get some more inspo. Really excited to dive in. But without further ado, let's just hop forward and create the looks that I did in this video. Hello, look number 1. We're gonna start with the Metamorphosis palette today. I'm super excited to dive in, and I don't even know what I want to do. I guess I should ponder for a second. Maybe Halo Eye? I think let's maybe start with this shade, this red shade right there. I'm gonna use this 210 brush so that I can kind of pack in the outer and inner corner and kind of do a little light blending in that area of the crease. Kind of sort of something like that. I want to leave the middle blank for now. I'm gonna use another shade to blend this out and another shade to deepen things up. This is just gonna get the ball rolling. I like this color, it's very cute. I think let's halo the lower lash line as well. I think I wanna do something kind of dramatic down here. Really smoked out. It's gonna look crazy until it doesn't. All right, let's start blending this out with this bright orange. This is the 200. I'm gonna knock some of that off. I think I grabbed a little bit much. And I'm just going to start swirling that around the edges of what I just laid down. Ooh, that is a very nice orange. I love it. This brush is so nice as well. It feels just so soft and luxurious, and the way it's like dispersing the product is so wonderful. I also love the skinny handle, like how it tapers at the bottom. I like when brushes have that. And just kind of go to town in this front little pocket as well. Again, trying to avoid the middle as much as possible. If it kind of starts touching a little bit, it's not the end of the world, but I am trying to avoid it so that it's not super saturated right there. I'm kind of trying to blend out this inner corner area as well. I'm liking this so far. I think that's really, really pretty. So easy too. It's causing me like no trouble. All right, let's deepen things up a bit. I want to take this darker kind of burgundy shade. Let's use this little pencil brush, the 220. And just kind of pack this fairly heavily in the inner and outer corner. I want this to be pretty deep, like as deep as I can get it. And just focusing it like directly on the inner and outer corner of the lid itself. Not really taking this through the crease. It'll kind of blend into the crease a little bit when I buff it out, so I'm not gonna like intentionally put it there. This is more so here so that my lid shade can blend into it really nicely. Ooh, that is good. And again, I'm gonna pop this on the lower lash line, but just in the inner and outer corner. I'm loving these colors together. My goodness, they flow so good. Ooh, I'm really happy about that. Gonna just take my brush I used with that red, that first shade. I'm not even taking any additional product. And just kind of lightly scooting around that edge just to buff that darker shade that I laid down out a little bit more. I'm just loving the mixture of depth and brightness with this look. I think it's so pretty. Gonna take just a teeny bit more orange on that fluffy brush I used before, just to do kind of the same thing. Just make sure everything is buffed out and swirled out really nicely. Especially in this inner area. I want to make sure this inner area has good brightness and blend as well. All right, time for some shimmer. I'm going to take my NYX glitter primer, of course, because we use that with every shimmer ever in this household. I'm going to use this 225 packing brush. Just grabbing a little dollop of this product and tippy tapping it all over my lid. And then for the inner and outer corner, I want to take this super shifty one down here. It's so pretty. And then I think I want the middle to be that shade, that like pinky shade. That'll probably be my inner corner as well. So I'm going to grab that darker shifty shadow on just that same brush. Look how pretty that is. I love it. And that is going to go in the inner and outer part of my lid, kind of blending in to that darker matte that I laid down. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. I mean, that would be beautiful all over the lid, but I did want a little bit of a halo moment. This one is definitely the star of the show. I'm going to take the brush that I used with my darkest matte, no additional product, just to lightly scoot along those edges, make sure everything is flowing nicely. Probably just take one of my other brushes as well, just to kind of dust over everything really quick. And then I'm gonna take the clean side of that same brush and just tap it right in the center. Ooh, that is quite nice. Not mad at that at all. I'm just gonna kind of go back and forth between both sides of this same brush. Just kind of tippy tapping it around, getting a nice flow between those two shimmers. I love that. I think that is so cool. Oh, I need to halo the lower lash line. I got so distracted with the lid. Okay, I'm actually just wiping off that pencil brush I used earlier and taking that darkest shimmer, just kind of smudging that right on the inner and outer part of my lower lash line. Just kind of mimicking the lid. Of course, I'll go through and make sure I'm doing a light blend on those so that everything is nice and soft. And then I'll wipe that brush off again and then grab that pinky shade to pop down here. Just kind of tippy tapping it around. Ooh, that is nice. I'm glad I haloed the lower lash line. I don't always, sometimes I just smoke it out. But I'm glad I did today. I like the effect that it's giving to my lower lash line. I'm just gonna take this tiny 230 brush next. This is usually what I use, like this shape of a brush at least for my inner corner. So I'm just gonna pop this pink in the inner corner as well. Really like that pink shade. It is so bold and so bright and so shifty. That would be really pretty on top of a black wing. I feel like it would look almost like neon, like kind of glowy, you know? Well, I love this so incredibly much. I'm going to finish it up. I'm gonna throw on my lashes and eye pencil and something on my lips, and I'll be back when I'm complete. All right, and this is my final look complete. I love this so much. I think it is so pretty. I think it's dimensional and bright, and I love it. I love it a lot. The eye pencil I ended up using is On Point from Colourpop, just kind of something peachy to go with all the oranginess that's on my eyes today. These lashes are from the Lash Graveyard. I'm fairly certain they're old Noella lashes, which are discontinued, but yeah, I'm not quite sure which these lashes are. And on my lips, I went with the Strong Lip Pencil and Lipstick from Rare Beauty. I thought a really nice dark chocolatey lip would be really nice with this, and I love it. So yeah, this is my first look. Let's move on to look number 2 with the Evergreen palette. Hi friends, look number 2. I realized I forgot to give my accessory details from look number 1. My little kitty cat earrings were from Undoubtedly Mad on Etsy, and I doubt you could even see my choker in that video, but I don't even remember where it's from. Then today I just have this necklace from my in-laws. This is an old wig off of Amazon, Neff brand beanie. Let's dive into it. I'm really excited to play with the Evergreen palette. It's so cute. I don't even know what I want to do. I did already kind of clean my brushes off that I used yesterday on my little Sigma color switch to get the pigments off of them so that I can use some of them again. So I want to use the lethal brushes again for this look. I'm going to go ahead and prime. I'm going to use my Sigma eyeshadow base. Just going to smear this on and blend it out. So I know I really want to use this purple, so I'm going to start with that one. I'm going to use this 205 angled brush. I'm going to just kind of pat it in the outer corner of the eye. I'm going to leave the inner part of my crease blank because I want to play with, I think, the green and yellow. So I'm just going to do this for now. And just kind of fluffing it in the outer corner. I kind of want to use this shade to blend itself. So I'm just going to be mindful of that. Start kind of feathering it outwards. I'm going to kind of pop this under the outer third of that lower lash line as well. Just kind of dust it outwards and upwards. Ooh, I love that color. That is so pretty. This brush is doing a good job. I'm going to kind of wipe it off so it's a little cleaner, and then just kind of continue blending outwards with that shade. Ooh, that is such a pretty color. Moving on, I want to take this beautiful green now. It's so bright. And I'm going to use this 210 brush. Again, I knocked all the pigment off. There's a little bit of stainage on it, but it's not like dirty anymore. Like no pinkish red comes off of it. So I'm just going to dip my little brush in there and start just kind of patting it in the inner corner. Ooh, that is bright. I love that. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is so pretty. Holy cow. Be still my heart. Kind of feathering it towards the purple, but just trying to be mindful of how much they blend together, just because purple and green are sometimes weird when you put them together because they're fairly far apart on the color wheel. I am going to be doing like half cut creasy stuff today, so I'm not too concerned with my lid area. But that is blending like a dream. Holy cow. Next, I want to take this beautiful yellow. I'm going to use that big fluffy brush from this lineup, the 200. Oh, that's a lot of yellow. Let me just start dusting that along the edges of this green. I do want the green to be the main part of this front area, but I did want to use that yellow a little bit to help blend it out, add even more brightness and fun. Ooh, that is so cute. I'm loving these brushes as well, by the way. I'm probably going to use them nonstop for a while. This is so cute and fun and colorful. I do think I want to deepen up the outer corner just a smidge so that I have something for the shimmers to blend into, because the shimmers I'm going to use are on the darker side. So I want to use this darker bluish teal. I'm just going to use the 220 pencil brush. I'm just going to pop it right here in the very outer corner of my eye. I don't really want this to take over the crease area. I just wanted something dark out here so that my shimmers can blend nicely. Might pop a little of this on that lower lash as well, just in the outer corner. And I'm gonna take the brush earlier I used with the purple, just a little bit more purple, and I'm just gonna lightly kind of tippy tap and blend out the edge of that darker bluish shade, just so it flows nicely into the purple. I do still want that purple to be a very prominent part of this outer corner, so I want to make sure I don't lose that. Ooh, that is looking so pretty. I'm gonna smudge it on this lower outer corner as well. Oh, I'm loving this look. I think this is gonna be the winner of the looks from this video for sure. I am actually obsessed with this so far. Time for some shimmer. I'm gonna take my NYX glitter primer, of course. I want to use this brush, the 215, just kind of a little shading brush and just kind of pop this on the lid. Oh, this is a very bouncy, fluffy brush. Maybe this is not the best brush to use for this. I'll probably use it in the outer half of my lid, but maybe not my cut creasy half. Maybe I'll use the one I used yesterday. So I want to start with this light yellow. I'm going to use this 225 brush, and essentially I just want this shade to be right at the tippy top where I'm cutting it. For me and my eye shape, I like just above my natural crease, kind of following the roundness of my eyeball. And I'm stopping it right there, where it starts to deepen up in the outer corner. And I pretty much only want it there. I just wanted it to be a little spotlight to have something light before I go in with the blues. I think that's so pretty. I love the way that combines with the green and just looks with the purples. This is such a fun look. Next, I think I want to take the blue on the top. I think that's the blue I want. There's two really pretty blues in here, and that's the one I think I'm settling on. Going back to that 215 brush, I'm just gonna grab a little bit of that product. And basically, I'm just gonna kind of go right underneath that yellow. I will grab more of that yellow to make sure they blend together, but trying to just stay kind of right below it and creeping upwards towards the tip, leaving this bottom portion blank so I can tuck my darkest shimmer in there. And I'm just doing light little tippy taps. Look how pretty that is. I kid you not, I'm barely putting any pressure on my eye. It is just working its magic all by itself. That's so pretty. And then I want to use this shade down here. I'm just gonna use that same brush I just used. I'm gonna flip over to the clean side of it, and that's gonna go right down here in this bottom little corner. Oh my gosh, I feel like this looks like colorful Christmas lights all over my eyes. It's so pretty. It's just bright and twinkly and amazing. I love it. I'm gonna use the brush that I used with that darkest blue matte just to kind of lightly smudge right there to make sure the mattes and shimmers are blending good. I'll do the same with my brush that I used with the purple, no additional product, just lightly tippy-tapping. I'm gonna take a little bit more of that yellow just to lightly tap kind of on that edge of the blue and the yellow to make sure they're blending good. That yellow shimmer really did just add such a nice little accent in there. I'm also gonna take that yellow on that 230 teeny brush to highlight my inner corner with as well. I think this is such a pretty look. I'm obsessed. I'm going to just finish up. I'm gonna throw on my lashes and eye pencil and something on my lips, and I'll be back when I'm complete. All right, and this is the final look complete. I love this look. I think it is so pretty, so magical looking. I am obsessed with how these shimmers look. I love these mattes. They're so bright. They're so wonderful. This is gonna be one of my new favorite Lethal palettes. I can see it now. I just adore this. The eye pencil I'm using is Piggy Bank from Colourpop. I just wanted to play with more of that purple vibe. These lashes, they're also from the Lash Graveyard. You're gonna be seeing a lot of just old unknown lashes for a little while because I had a few sitting on my bathroom counter that I really need to finish using. And on my lips, I went with the Wise pencil from Rare Beauty with this Duality gloss from Lethal on top. It has a little bit of a yellowy shift to it, so I thought that would complement that like yellow shimmer that I had going on. So yeah. This is the look. Obviously, it's my favorite of the two. I loved look number one, but this look steals the show for me. Let's zoom out and finish up this video, and I will give you my final thoughts. Thank you so much for watching my video playing with the Lethal palettes and the Lethal brushes. I am so excited about everything. Like I said, these brushes, I really like them. They are so soft, so luxurious feeling. I'm gonna be reaching for these constantly, and I'm super excited about it. And then we have the two palettes. I, again, am in love with them. I think they're so pretty. Of course, the Evergreen is my favorite. These colors are just completely my vibe. But I do love this Metamorphosis one as well. I didn't have any issues with blending, patchiness. These blended so easy, like butter. The shimmers are magical. Lethal definitely has one of my favorite formulas of all time. I've never struggled with them, and these palettes are just amazing. My only complaint is I did have a couple shadows come a little bit crumbly, so I had to push them into place, but thank goodness they weren't completely destroyed. I was able to just kind of push them back into their pan, but I did want to make it clear that I did have a couple issues with that, but it wasn't the end of the world. Thankfully, I was able to put them back in their little bed, tuck them in, and play with them the next day. I love these. I would love to know which one you're vibing with more. Did you pick anything from this collection up? Do you want anything? I would love to hear your thoughts down below. If you made it to the end of this video, out of those two palettes, pick your favorite and leave emojis that vibe with that palette. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel out a lot. And if you're not already, you can follow me on my other socials. You can join the battybean fam. I am battybean on everything, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And if you want, you can subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. I'm posting every single day in December. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, bye. I can't believe I said blush brush on the first try. I never, ever, ever do that. I definitely have a hair like right here, and it's like tickling my eyelash. Sir, you are evicted. I found it. I found it. At this point, it's like, is it my hair? Is it a wig hair? Is it a makeup brush hair? Is it a cat hair? Is it a hair from me working in the salon? Who knows? It's anyone's game.